What's good, YouTube? I am joined by Antonio Izzo, who just managed to take 7th place at the PPG Regionals using this deck. And very interesting choice here. Barrier Statue Stun.
Yep. First regional outing with this deck. I did quite well. I'm quite pleased with the performance. Great deck, honestly. A lot of fun for sure.
I want to ask something before we get into it. How many times did you actually go into your extra deck?
At the at the regionals, not once, but at locals, quite a few times actually.
Alright, let's go ahead and get into the deck profile.
Sure. So I played 3 Fossil Dino. Very standard, pretty basic. Always want to see it as much as possible. I played 3 of the Wind statues. I used to play the Earth, but now with Zodiac Beast, I decided to go Wind. I thought I might see Wind Witches, but I didn't run into them. And I didn't run into any like Speedroid decks. I did run into one Magispector, but it really didn't matter. So Wind went pretty well with me. I played 1 Thunder King. Well, I used to play 1 Thunder King and 1 Banisher. I took the Banisher out, at least from the main. I don't mind Thunder King. I don't really want to see it early game because I want to lock down special summoning way more than searching. But mid to late game, it's good. You put it on the board and it locks people out pretty hard. They can't search, can't thin through the deck, can't try to shuffle and get to their outs. And it's a pretty decent beater on its own. So I'm pretty happy with Thunder King at 1. 3 card demise, super standard. I used to play it at 2, and then honestly, I was like, I really don't see it as much as I'd like to. So I put it to 3, and I can't complain. Saw it almost every single time, almost every game. Great choice. Pot of Duality, standard. Got to have 3 for searching. Upstart for the 39 deck consistency. Book, I like it. I think it's pretty versatile. It's pretty good for interrupting plays, and I kind of wish it was a little bit higher than just at 1, but it's good. It's it's a good utility card. MST, yeah, I played 2. I just every now and then, if I run into an unfortunate back row that I don't see coming, or if there's just 1 or 2 sets that I kind of want to deal with, or people that may main like Royal Decree or something, I definitely want to have an immediate out to it instead of having to wait to side into it.
Yeah, there were actually multiple Zodiacs and Top Cuts playing Mirror Forces themselves, so I imagine this could kind of like route out problems like that.
Indeed, gives me an immediate main deck answer instead of having to wait to side game 2 or 3. Raigeki, yeah, I'm a fan of it. It's just I need to have 1 like board clear option in the deck mained because sometimes you just need it, and I don't want to wait to side for it. The 3 Lance, great card. So many times, not only for damage step when people can only normal summon and then they try to kill you and you just lance them and they lose, but to protect from the multiple times that people dark hole or Raigeki you to try and get rid of your stuff. Very standard, very helpful.
The entire Solemn Brigade here.
Yes, indeed. I used to play 2 strike. I got a 3rd, so I bumped it up to 3. 3 strike, 3 and the warning. Just super standard, really good. Anytime I lose one of my statues, the strikes come in handy to help me wait until I can draw into it or get it back on the board. And then just to negate summons. The 3 Mirror Forces, a lot of people told me not to play them or to play like Stormings or Quakings instead, but to be honest, it worked just fine. Like, all I need to do is trade 1 for 1, because all they're going to do is normal summon, and once they lose that, then they just usually pass, and then it doesn't matter. And that's really all it needs to do.
Did you ever consider the Blazing one for extra damage?
I didn't. I have 1. I thought about it, but I was like, if I'm not wrong, does Blazing inflict damage to myself as well?
Yeah, both players.
Yeah, I then at that point I just decided against it because I'm like, I'm already playing Warning and 3 strike. I don't want to be hurting myself too much because I can't, if I'm in a bad position, taking damage is not what I want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
The 1 Quaking, yeah, I only had 1 and I was like, it is pretty good, and I threw it in there and it did well for me.
Triple Dark Bribe, haven't seen this card in a while.
Yes. Oh my God. Dark bribing Twin Twisters and dark holes, Raigekis, all that stuff. Dark bribing chalices because people were running those. for sure. Great card, MVP. Honestly, yeah, bottomless, just another spot removal card. Whenever anybody summons anything that I consider a threat, we can just get rid of it real quick. Another good one for one spot removal card, or an interrupting card. Compo did fine. I no complaints on that at all.
Phantom Knight Wings protecting your monsters extra here.
Yes, yes. The wings and the swords. Oh my God, so many times in damage step people would just lose to that card. Great, great. I loved both of them at 3. I'm disappointed that the attack boost for the swords is not permanent. That was actually ruled against me. At one point, it was in locals it was ruled that it was permanent, and then apparently it's not. That's somewhat of a disappointment, but still the protection from destruction and the damage step capabilities is just great. So I'm pretty pleased with it. For
It doesn't say till the end of the turn, does it?
It doesn't, but that's how the judges ruled it, and I guess because it's an equip or it's a continuous that once it leaves, the entire effect of it goes away with it.
That would make sense once it leaves, I would think.
Yeah.
All right, into the extra that you didn't use. Anything you want to note out from local play?
Yeah, when I was running the Earth statues, I had a moment where I went into the Goliath guy, and I detached and I added Fossil Dyna from the grave, which was nice. It's really not. I don't plan on using it. I usually really don't. But if for any reason, I like 2 of my monsters get chaliced, or I run into, for some reason, some people at locals played Skilled Breakthrough, and that really, I don't see that coming. That really hurts. But stuff like that, chalice or skill drain, and that way I can exceed into a beater like Gemini Pearl or something, and do something with my weak monsters. Anyways, the 3 ranks are just in case I put the banishers in, and I mean at least with banisher I can't exceed if I have to. So it's just there for any random possible occasion that may come up.
All right, now into the side deck here.
Yeah, I played 3 banisher. Mainly at locals, I use it a lot. There's a few people that won't let Burning Abyss die as a deck, so I have to put that in. I didn't use it, to be honest, during the regional. I really had it in regionals. I really only had it there for like Infernoid and stuff like that. Anything that's super grave oriented, Mermails, uh, and I mean if there were any random Burning Abyss decks as well. I did play two of the Inferno statues and one of the Abyss to side out the wind in case I ran into Wind Witch or Magispector or Speedroid or any of that. And also, I do notice that some of the Zodiac players are playing Kaijus, and I feel like if they see the Wind statues, they'll assume that, I mean, they usually play like the Wind Kaiju. So I can side out into these, and then their Wind Kaijus become pointless or useless. And they usually never see, at least the Dark one, I never see that card played. So it was nice. I did use it against a few Zodiac players, and it went fine. The other Thunder King, just in case I felt like I really needed it against Search Heavy decks, but to be honest, I never cited it in. I didn't think. Again, I don't really want to see it opening hand, so I just didn't put it in. But it was in there just in case I thought I needed it. Swords of Concealing Light. Yes, that I later on I will give a shout out and a description of what I did with that card. But that card definitely an MVP of one of the rounds that I played. Pretty much won me the game. That was a great choice for regionals. Honestly, fantastic. 2 Dark Hole, just more added board clear and field wipes just in case for Zodiac and anybody else. Anytime I lose the dice roll and I know I'm going second, either I lose the dice roll or I am going second, I usually side them in just so I can clear boards and set up my locks. The other MST also for decrees or anti-spell fragrance or anything else that people want to side as far as back row, I'll put it in usually. Master Restrict was a bit random. I've left it in there from locals for a while. I didn't have anything else to put in, and I was like, well, if I run into I don't know Magispector or maybe Monarchs at random, I'll have it for what it's worth. And Ring of Destruction, I did side it in a few times. Another good, just one-for-one removal card. Against Zodiac, since most of them are weak, I don't mind playing it because I'll take, minimal to no damage from killing their monster, and it doesn't really bother me.
All right, let's go ahead and get into your rounds. But only one question first. Why no Moon Mirror Shield here?
Moon Mirror Shield, I played it for a while. I have 3 copies. Honestly, I don't like it. I feel like good players can play around it really well, and they'll force me to burn. I'll take burn damage whenever it leaves the field, and then most of the time, I'll put it on the bottom, and then I won't see it again because if I'm already losing a monster and I'm already losing my field, putting it on top is just a waste of a draw most of the time, and I take damage for it. I just don't like it. I feel like it's unnecessary.
Understandable. All right, and also I guess it would be turned off by it would give more back row destruction, where you'd rather have another set that could be activated.
Exactly, for sure.
All right, let's get into your rounds. What did you face all day?
So yeah, a little context from the event. I actually I got there late with my ride and my friends, and I was not gonna enter, but then everyone's like, well, you can still enter if you take a 1-round loss.
Ooh.
I was like, well, I mean, I guess so. Why not? I'll get the 5 packs for entering, and I'll just play for fun. Like it doesn't matter. So I did. I started off with a 1-round first round loss, and I played. First, I played Cubics, which was interesting. I'd never played against them before. Never seen the deck outside of like YouTube videos and stuff. And well, I mean, it wasn't that hard. I mean, I did lose the dice roll, but the gentleman was kind enough to let me go first, so he somewhat handed me the game at that point. I mean, I played Cubics. That was easy, not majorly difficult. Then I played Metal Foe Zodiac, also. Realistically, not. I really wasn't that concerned or that afraid, of the deck or what it can do. I defeated them as well. I played ABC round 3. It's the only time that I had a draw. ABC's, I don't know. That deck just has one hell of a grind, and with all their recycling and getting stuff back from the grave and searching and this and that, and the fact that their monsters aren't very weak. It's a bit of a problem. I won the first game. I lost the second in time, and then they just called it a draw. So that was disappointing, but glad that at least I didn't lose. Then I played another Zodiac deck, which, yeah, I mean, it was fine, not an issue. Um, I also played Magispector, and that's very random. I didn't expect to see him, or I thought the deck was somewhat dead by this point, but somebody was playing them, and this was probably, for what it's worth, the best game, the best match that I played all day. And this is where the swords came in. I sided them in, and I sided in Dark Holes as well, even though they can't be destroyed by card effect and whatnot. But I was like, well, I know of something I can do. And they went first. He was playing, I guess, Ties his brethren with Magispector. And he ended up with, he summoned one of the guys. I think it was the raccoon guy. He did his thing. He ties. He summoned 2 more. And then he set 4. I was like, well, okay. And then when I went, I had Dark Hole. And I was like, man, I really need to find a way to get rid of this. So I duality'd, and the third card was Swords of Concealing Light. And so I played it, and then I Dark Holed his field. And then he pretty much lost from there. I could not believe that I would get that lucky to rip that third card on the Potter Duality and then just Dark Hold the field. So that was pretty nice. I will, for that entire idea was my friend Izzy's. I will shout out to him. He told me to side those, and I did, and it definitely paid off. So I played them, and then and then that's it. Then I think it was one other Zodiac player, or 2 more. I think it was 2 more. It was 5 rounds. Yeah, Magispector, Cubic, Zodiac, and ABC. Oh yeah, and ABC. So 3 Zodiac players, which I beat all of them. I didn't have any major issues, to be honest. Really not for this deck, it's really not that big of a deal. Kind of have to win the dice roll, otherwise it's somewhat of a struggle. But if you have your board clears and stuff, they really, once you mass destroy the board, they really can't recover. And it's, once you lock them out, they really can't do anything.
That's so
it wasn't that bad. I did not expect that the performance would be this good. But it was fun, and I had a good time, and I definitely did quite well with this deck for sure.
Especially with a round 1 loss. So actually
Yeah,
technically undefeated here.
pretty much, indeed.
You only lost to your car ride.
Yeah, yeah, and if it wasn't for that draw, I would have pretty much won every round at that point. But yeah, no, it was great. Not anything I expected. I was really just at that point going to play for fun and just see what happened, and well, there it goes.
Any extra shout outs here as we wrap this up?
Um, I mean, shout out to Hunter too, the guy who was playing the Yangzing DDD deck. Cool guy, awesome guy. He's a friend of mine from the PPF locals that I go to with him. So yeah, no, and I'm glad he got second. He did very well for himself as well. And then yeah, like I was saying before, shout out to my friend Izzy for telling me to put in not only Swords of Concealing Light, which absolutely won me that game, but Ring of Destruction as well, which did come in useful many times throughout the day. Other than that, I do want to say thank you for what you do and your videos and stuff. I always watch the Market Watch from you guys. You guys do a great job with that. So I do appreciate the channel, and so thank you for that. For
Thanks
sure.
a lot, man, and thank you so much for this profile. I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to see this one.
Absolutely, anytime, no problem.